Hey, what's up, guys?
Hello.
This is SudsNBubbles. Here with me today is
Welcome, welcome, everybody. Hope we're all doing fine on this fantastic evening.
That's right, and we're here to bring you another Owlet tournament presentation. Today's going to be Stage 1, Week 1, Day 2. The teams are Yes versus the Megs. This is
Yes,
a majors tournament game. So should be pretty hype. We're sitting around Diamond for both of these
Yeah,
teams.
fairly excited. We'll see some diamond level play. Maybe they'll pop off and pull out some GM level play. So we'll see exactly what both teams are going to bring this time. Pretty excited. We're getting started on season 2 of Owlet, so a lot of room for these teams to show exactly what they have and to kind of refine the things that they know need a little bit of work. So we'll kind of identify those today for you.
That's absolutely right. So just as a quick heads up, these teams have played one game so far. We're obviously first week, but Yes took a 3-1 loss to Gucci Gank yesterday. The Megs 4-0 win over Blackjack
Strong.
Gaming. So
Nice.
both teams putting up a good showing, but we'll see how they end up matching up. As I said, we're just getting into this season. We don't know a whole lot.
We don't know anything yet.
We're all learning along with you.
Look
so
at all these homies bringing all this potential. Exactly. So it's very exciting. We want to keep our eyes very closely on these teams and kind of see who's going to break out of the mold, maybe see who kind of pushes forward to the front of the pack.
That's right. And so our first map today is going to be Busan.
Busan hype.
So what are you excited about here on Busan?
I think you and I were talking about this off stream, but I do enjoy how Busan has a bit of a healthy dive meta, map geometry, I should say. It's just got a lot of interesting high ground positioning. How the like bridge positioning on the main point, in the city area, kind of makes you work around that on high ground as well as low ground. Speak of the devil.
That's right. It looks like we're going to get going on downtown for our first stage here on Busan, and this is exactly what you were talking about. There's a lot of opportunity to use dive characters here. There's tons of high ground to abuse.
Yes.
Winston's divas can get a lot of scouting, a lot of kind of map control from taking those, and a little bit of Widow even. You just have such huge open sightlines here in the center of this map.
Right, absolutely, and I've even found it fairly useful if you want. If you play Sombra, go ahead and invis out ahead of your team, translocate up to the high ground, and you get a much better position to view the enemy team. As well, you might be able to catch a Widow or Hanzo off guard who's trying to set up for an early pick to make that first team fight in their favor. So definitely a lot of options. Of course, a lot of people still end up playing the GOATS comps here, and it's because this map geometry lends itself to being, I think, very pliable to both kinds of compositions. So we'll kind of see what these teams are strong with, what they want to bring out. But I do definitely think Busan is strong in supporting that dive meta.
Yeah, you are absolutely right, and we've got just a couple of seconds here. We're going to see what these teams want to approach with. It looks like Yes is going to be coming out on that Zenyatta Goats. On the other side, we are going to have Zenyatta Goats. So, pretty standard for the current meta as things are going. But it looks like Yes is actually going to get here onto the point first as we get the roundabout approach from the Megs.
Right, I do like the approach from the Megs. Very interesting pathing. It looks like they're all going to bunch up here, and Paper Sword gets an easy pick right off the bat. However, Noski turning this back around. Sid getting Widow only out of the match. So it looks like the teams are actually 4-4 right now. Fighting on the point as it opens up now. Lord takes Steiner down. Laser Blitz actually gets Lord out of mech, so we are seeing quite a bit of interesting Zarya play going on. Laser Blitz does eventually fall, so it looks like the Megs might have this point, and Noski's starting to knock the rest of Yes around, and the Megs have... Oh! They still have to cap. There we go. And now the Megs do have the point in this first team fight. Oh, and that good Lucio boop. Good job, Sid.
Yeah, that was really good of the Megs to kind of get the trade onto Paper Sword after Trash Panda went down, because if you don't have a main tank and the other team does, you've a lot of times lost that fight. But here they were able to turn that one around without too much loss there, and now they are going to go ahead and pop the rally to prepare for the onslaught from Yes.
Yeah, and here we go. So Yes really try their best to push in here, making some space. Noski's rally is going to be helping them here. And there we go. Widow only getting the rally out on their side now as Yes pushes on the point a little further. And here we go. We got a Deepa Bomb coming out. Oh, and Testing, here we go, making up for that early boop in the first fight. Really turning that around. You know, what were the main contributing factors there? I'm assuming the rally, yeah?
Yeah, the rally helped, but really it came down to their Xin staying up in that alley and not being contested. It forced Trash Panda to kind of have to look 2 directions with his shield, and he ended up being taken out by Steiner while he was trying to protect himself from the other side, and that opened up the fight for them. But then just a beautiful Shatter Bomb combo there coming out from Papersar and Testing. So love to see it.
Fantastic combination there. And again, the Megs taking that pathing they originally started with, pushing directly onto point. Obviously, this Goat's composition really benefits when you just run in there. Yes, does throw out their Graviton Surge. However, Sid counters with a Lucio beat. And we've got a counter Graviton Surge with a counter Zenyatta Transcendence. Trash Panda actually charging 2 members of off of the map. So with a rally coming out here from Noski, it looks like the Megs are going to turn this right back around in their own team fight. Yep, there we go.
Yeah, both teams did a good job to survive the Transcendence, but Trash Panda with the hero charge lost his own life but took 2 with him. And
Truly a hero play.
That's a good trade any time of the week. So now we are going to see Yes try to push in here with likely the rally as well as that sound barrier. So they should have a little bit of sustain coming in, but a Shatter ready for Trash Panda, they're going to have to watch out for that.
They also have Diva Bomb coming up as well. So the rally coming out on the side of Yes. They are preparing for what is to come here. So we'll see how the Megs defend this. And, that Earth Shatter gets blocked and the Diva Bomb comes out. And it's unfortunately contested by Oker's Lucio beat. So we have the team still fighting here on point as the counter ticks up for the Megs. Sid does fall, so it looks like the Megs are down. I'm sorry, yes, the Megs are down a healer. We got the Graviton Surge coming out from Magicat. However, Magicat falls in the interim. Yes gets a couple picks here, and they keep getting the picks as the dominoes fall. And there we go. Looks like as they hit 99%, the Megs lose the point, and Yes is now capped.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good work from Papersar to block the Shatter from Trash Panda. That was the win condition that the Megs was looking for. Now they're going to have to come in here. They're already at 99%. They only have to win 1 fight. Magic Cat actually swapping onto the Pharah here, Sid onto the Mercy. So they're going to take a little bit different approach, see if they can get a little crossfire going.
Yep. There we go. So Noski popping that. Yep, we have both rallies from both Brigidas out now. A lot of armor coming onto each of the team here. And like you said, Magic Cat and Sid kind of poking around on point, seeing what they can do in terms of damage. Paper Sword trying to get a few people down with that Earth Shatter. However, it doesn't really work. The Transcendence coming out to nullify the damage. A lot going on here. We got an ult Fiesta. Testing, able to take down Gino Saji, however, with that Diva Bomb in the middle of that Graviton Surge. And Yes, really pulling through strong here. The res comes out from Sid onto Gino Saji. However, I don't think it's going to really matter in the last couple of seconds here. And finally, Yes cleans it up nice and pretty as 99 hits on the counter.
That was really well done from them. They survived a lot of attack, but unfortunately the Pharah didn't have a lot of impact. We did see the Diva of Testing doing a good job of just keeping her occupied and not letting her get that free damage down. One thing we did actually see from both Reinhardts on that point was a tendency to, once they throw out the Shatter, even if they only get 1 or 2 people, they want to start swinging into it. And obviously, that's what you want as a Reinhardt. You want to swing your hammer, but if you're only getting 1 or 2 people, you have to be careful. Sometimes you got to keep that shield up. The counter Shatter could happen. There's a lot of damage coming in from the rest of that team, and we saw both Trash Panda and Papersar go down to during one of their own shatters there.
Exactly, yeah. If you get a little overzealous, you can get punished, especially if the team's watching out for it. So we've got both teams coming up here on high ground, you know, just diagonally adjacent from each other. However, they are kind of poking around, seeing what's going on. Gino Saji actually on the Ana right now. I'm liking this. And we are going to take a pause.
So in the meantime, we'll take a quick look at the compositions we're running. We do have, it looks like we've got a DC from one of our players.
Okay, unfortunate.
But we are seeing Zen Goats come out from, so
same comp they had,
pretty standard. The Megs, however, running that Pharah Mercy as well as the Ana for Gino Saji.
Yeah, and Lucio as well. So
and Lucio,
a lot of maneuverability and kind of AoE healing. It looks like the Megs might be going for in terms of the side of things.
Yeah, a little lacking on the damage in my opinion, though. Your only real damage dealer there is the Pharah, and a single swap can make her pretty ineffective. But we are going to get back going here as this first fight continues.
Fantastic. So yeah, we do have Yes actually pushing a chunk of the Megs into a room here. And they continue to fight here while the point opens up. So they're actually fighting far from point, which I think is really interesting. Trash Panda Sid fall on the side of the Megs really early on in this fight. So it does look like Yes has sent a few members back to go ahead and cap while they have the team advantage, and they are going to retreat for the time being.
I think this was an excellent plan from Yes. They pushed them back into that hallway because Farah's ineffective there. There's nowhere for her to fly. If she tries to come down in there, she's just going to get shredded. So they pretty much had a 5v6 there and were able to win it. But now the Megs taking position on the point.
And Yes actually just lets the Megs take the point. They didn't contest them at all on the point from the high ground. They actually waited until the point was now in favor of the Megs, which might be a mistake here. However, Yes coming in strong with 2 kills right off the bat. The Megs counter with demeching D.Va and taking Zenyatta down. So it is possible that this could go either way. We have a rally coming out on the side of Yes, getting her team some armor, and looks like they are going to be looking at an advantage here in this later part of this team fight. Sid does use the res to get the Lucio up, however, Noski falls right away to Widow only on that Brigitte. Ooh, and we got a good charge coming in. Barrage, Nano, unfortunately only gets the enemy D.Va out of mech before Steiner pops her out of the sky with that Discord. That's nasty when you're playing Pharah. And we've got a Shatter coming. There we go. So Paper Sword really coming in strong and finishing off that team fight with the Earth Shatter there. Yes, finally taking that point back. So do we think that Yes maybe just was a little apprehensive to get on point there, and that's why the Megs took? I mean, they got 45% in that fight.
I think they were just a little slow to realize that the Megs approached from that other angle. And
that's possible, yeah.
Although I do like they fought that slow, which was good for them as far as winning the fight. Unfortunately, it meant that the Megs got 45% on that.
And a nice big Graviton Surge with the D.Va Bomb coming out. And it looks like Sid is the only one to fall in that. However, Lord of also gets demeched in the interim. Laser Blitz taking down Trash Panda as well. So Yes, using a couple of ultimates here to lock down this team fight as they approach 50% on their capture percentage.
So I do really like how Yes is trying to position on that high ground to have a better attack perspective on the point, as well as be able to do this kind of block in here at the hallway.
Yeah, that's a great point, and they do have an ult advantage right now. Speaking of, they do pop their rally while Sid on the Megas makes that Valkyrie play, so they do kind of rotate around and run straight to point. So now both teams are fighting here on the main point. And the big shatter Paper Sword. Let's go, Miss Paper Sword. The enemy team looks like they do get a support ultimate in the way, however, but this fight could go either way at this point. So Gino Saji and Trash Panda fall to the to Paper Sword and testing. Magic Cat trying to take down anybody on Yes, only gets Paper Sword in the middle of the fight. And again, Yes holding strong on this point here. Everybody on either team used all the ultimates that they had at that time. So we've got a clean fight coming out if Megs can get to the point, but I don't think they're going to be able to.
It looks like Trash Panda...
That a Brigitte stun?
I believe
mid-air.
So. The Brigitte stun, the D.Va was there to get the little bit of a loop on that, so that was really good point protection from Yes. And they are going to take this map without too much trouble, it looks like.
Play. Let's watch Noski crack some heads.
Yeah, just...
Nice.
Really good.
Good old-fashioned mash and bash, yeah.
Getting tons of hits in there, which obviously triggers her Inspire, healing her and the rest of her team.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what you want your Brigitte to be doing. So good work by Noski there in that play. But Yes is going to take the first map here. And, you know, in their team sheet that they gave us to have a little peek at, they like to tell us that they like to play the off-meta comps.
Yeah.
We didn't see that here.
No, we did not.
They're running the straight Zenyatta goats, which,
exactly.
You know, we're seeing the just in pretty much every match right now.
And I'm wondering perhaps if they didn't have a strong enough off-meta, quote-unquote, you know, composition that they were comfortable running on Busan. You know, that's completely possible. But yeah, the Zenyatta goats composition is very common at this time.
Yeah. On the other side, the Megs did try running that Pharah, which I like on that downtown point.
Yes.
They weren't really able to get her into a good position. We saw them approach down that kind of main area. And I feel like if your team goes that way, you really want the Pharah to go around the other side because you have that big pillar to use for cover
Right.
way up there in the sky. But she just kind of approached that same area and they didn't get a lot of value out
Right,
of it.
as well, they did switch to Pharah in the very last fight on the downtown area, so we didn't really get to see a whole lot of Pharah play within, an area with so much open space, like you were saying, and a lot of pillars to help block LOS, for, snipers or just general, fire trying to cover that area. So, completely fine. Pretty excited to see what these teams have for us in this next map coming up. So, we're going to go ahead and update this scoreboard. We'll take a quick peek here. We're moving on to Dorado now, moving from Busan over to Dorado. What are you hoping to see here? What kind of tactics, what kind of compositions do you hope to see here on this escort map?
So I think on first point, Pharah can be used very effectively, especially on attack. But second point, I would expect to see some Winston, even if it's Winston Goats. I would like to see some of that, just because he gives you the ability to fight on the high ground there, which is very important, especially if anybody decides to run DPS.
Right.
We can giving the DPS those positions is just super strong.
Yeah, no, that's a fantastic point. And we have seen Winston. He's been making appearances in some of these goats compositions, which I think is really interesting and a breath of fresh air. Honestly, he is entirely effective to hop on, like Widows and Hanzos, especially that are trying to, nullify your attack pressure that that you have going on. And in Dorado, we will more than likely see either or Widowmaker or Hanzo being played, by either the attack or the defense. I just think that the geometry, the building composition in especially the first point of Dorado really lends itself to snipers being able to really control, how the map is being, played. Wow.
Yeah,
had a bit of a
absolutely.
brain fart, but.
So, and speaking of which, the part of the reason Winston's so good in those situations against the Widowmaker is if you kind of imagine the control of space or the protection of space that a main tank offers. If you've got a Widowmaker there on that second point, kind of there's the high ground just above the first point. Right. If you've got a Rhine out there in the field, he controls a little cone behind his shield that she can't shoot at. If you have a Winston jump on the Widow, he's now stopping her from shooting all of that space behind him.
Right.
So that's kind of how those dive tanks take space, and it's very effective against long-range characters and snipers.
Yeah, that's a nice, clear analysis. That's especially considering the mobility factor when you think of these tanks, these off tanks like Winston and Hammond. You do have to utilize their mobility to take the space where these main tanks just could not. As cool as it would be, they're never gonna give Reinhardt an actual jetpack to boost himself up to the high ground, which I think is fair, I guess.
But I've been asking Jeff Kaplan that for Christmas every year.
And I'm sure Jeff has been listening. He's been such a good lad. However, I think he does have some other priorities in mind.
I mean, he's not okay.
He's not doing. What are you gonna say?
No, we're just gonna that one.
Cool. Yeah, we don't want this stream to get shut down by Blizzard immediately. Sorry, you've blasphemed against Mr. Kaplan. So
I never
we can't allow
blasphemed Mr. Kaplan. I don't take Kaplan's name in vain.
You're gonna have to go perform a couple Hail Jeffs in the back while I continue the casting.
Would be wonderful. Good. It looks like we are gonna take a quick pause here.
Cool. Yeah, no, fantastic. We'll go ahead and take a quick pause here. So I'm sure that there's going to be quite a few troll picks going on right now. I wanted to review the team composition. I mean, we could absolutely see testing on the Torbjorn, especially with his rework. I think that he's going to be viable on defense, especially in some areas where you can set him up on high ground. You can set him up in little alcoves. Dorado is really strong for that kind of hero. That's why I think Symmetra is actually also a really good hero on Dorado. With her new teleporter setup and her new ultimate, it really allows you to view the map in a much different way. You can really control the positioning of your team in a much more dynamic fashion at the point with both of the reworks.
That's very true, especially on hybrid and 2CP maps. We have been seeing a lot of Symmetra Bastion comps because you can actually move that Bastion around to different high grounds. But on the defense, we are going to see this Reinhardt Zarya composition with the Mei and the Pharmacy.
Okay.
And then the Ana. On the attack, we do have the double snipe. Oh, I take it back.
Just kidding, Ochre. We see you. We see
They're
you.
going to run a Pharmacy of their... So, a little bit of a Pharah battle to start off the map here.
And yeah, I wonder if Ochre was maybe getting in just a free Sonic arrow to see where the enemy team was at, which is not a bad thing to do. So we do have Winston, like you were saying, making that space on the high ground and pushing the Megs off right away. So it looks like Yes is gonna have a pretty easy time pushing this cart while they're being uncontested. One of the harder parts is getting it under this bridge, since it is a very tight chokehold. So we'll see how they approach this. Going in for the cheeky Pharah battle, and looks like, just barely missing on that second shot. Only would have had him. You know, moving the enemy team back, trying to make some more space. However, Paper Sword gets walled and slept and then charged. So, you know, Paper Sword is just taking a quick nap, taking a quick break. But again, like I said, they are having a bit of a difficult time. Yes is getting through this bridge section, or I should say archway section.
That's absolutely right. They are going to do a little bit of a soft reset here. I'm not entirely sure where Laser Blitz has been looking for these Widow picks.
However, 71%. And switching on over to McCree. Maybe that's where Laser Blitz went.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah. And McCree's also good here, especially with Genosagi on that Mage. Genosagi actually falls to Widow only, so we'll see if they take advantage of that. However, Magicat turns around and takes that trade. So we may see a team fight here. However, we may also see a soft reset again. Looks like Yes is trying their darndest to make this cart move. However, the Megs don't want to let them push it past this really defensible choke point for free. So pretty good on the defense for holding on to these ultimates, just really gaining that ult charge. Yes is actually in a bit of a tough spot here. They have less than 2 minutes left. Magicat just took down Widow only again. And Yes is getting these ultimates a lot slower than the Megs at this point. So if the Megs play it slow and they meter out these ultimates, they may actually just full hold here. So like clockwork, we got some ultimates coming out. Valkyries from both Mercies. We've got Paper Sword using that Primal Rage. Widow only taking down 3 people with that Pharah barrage. Yes is making a quick attack play here, and Widow only is done messing around. He knows he has a minute and a half left. He's not going.
Oh my God!
The mid-air shot at Noski. Widow only, you are playing some dirty Pharah tricks right now.
Yeah, so
go ahead.
Yeah, so the issue, Yes, was the tanks were taking a lot of damage before they were able to stage a dive. Finally, Paper Sword builds up that Primal Rage, is able to just jump in and actually initiate, and now they're going to be able to make a lot of space here on this second point, because as I said, they've got the dive tanks to take that high ground, whereas Trash Panda on the Reinhardt just doesn't have that option.
Wow, they sure do, and we've got the High Noon coming out from Laser Blitz. Glowing Cowboy. Unfortunately, doesn't take anybody down. Widow only actually does fall to Genosagi's swap onto McCree. So it looks like both teams are tired of the other team's Pharahs, it looks like. So McCree's coming out from each of them. Paper Sword and Testing, making some space up top. The cart's been moving along on the street level pretty well now. So Genosagi taking down Pharah on the Yes team. So
yeah, and I think we're going to see this McCree ult from Genosagi come out here pretty... He has been just nailing his shots.
That is real juicy. So taking down Ochre on the Mercy there. But Widow only gets a little bit of revenge for his Mercy and is able to take down McCree there. So
the res is denied.
The res has been denied. So we are going to see this cart still moving under this second archway under the bridge. Lord also gets slapped around by Paper Sword's second Primal Rage. And looks like we're making some decent progress on the side of Yes. They're saving on to 5 ults here, which I'm sure they may need, because the Megs have almost 5 of their own to defend here. So they may be able to group up depending. They only have 1 person on the payload right now, so it may not move fast enough. And there we go. Magicat's able to get on the point with 2 meters left. There we go. Barrage coming out from Widow only, taking down Genosagi. However, Laser Blitz follows up with a Deadeye to take Noski down. Eva Bomb comes out, Trash Panda simply blocks it, and it looks like we have the return ultimates coming out on the side of the Megs. Magic Cat tries to take down a few members with the barrage, however, it doesn't look like it's really effective. Ochre actually reses Steiner in the middle of this team fight. With the high noon coming out from Junosagi, but testing runs right in there, uses her body. D.Va really effective against McCree, especially in the middle of a high noon, just blocking him. And one by one, Megs fall, and Yes has this second checkpoint.
Yeah, that was a bit of an ult fiesta we got there, but unfortunately, the fact that they used their Graviton Surge and Earth Shatter at almost the same time means that they didn't get the value out of both ults.
Yeah, they were far less effective than they could have been.
Exactly, they really only got anything out of that Graviton, which they comboed Magic Cat's barrage with, but now Paper Sword able to retake some more high ground space here, just keep Magic Hat on the back foot.
Yeah, and now we have a Laser Blitz on the Tracer, so it looks like Laser Blitz trying to just take down these supports and squishies in the back line. Paper Sword with another Primal Rage, really just slapping the Megs around while, you know, he makes space for her team. Gets slept. Trash Panda's now nanoed, so Trash Panda runs in, swinging that big hammer around, smacking the members of Yes down, and here we go. Megs making their comeback, making the strong defense, and they've stopped Yes in their tracks.
They did, and we saw some really great shots.
And it looks like Laser Blitz was able to make it out.
No,
oh,
not
no!
quite.
Pretty good stagger for the Megs as well.
That's really well done. We saw some really great shots from both Faras there. Magic Hat getting the better of it, though. And now they are going to be sitting on 5 ultimates again. Laser Blitz now on the Tracer, Widow now over onto the McCree. So we've got some swaps there.
And Ochre is on Lucio now.
That's right. So it looks like they just want to kind of speed this backline around a bit more because they have been having them die a little bit to the opposing Fara.
So interesting. Yeah, it looks like they are running, you know, a fairly basic dive composition. I like it. We'll see how this works out here. Test taking a lot of damage in the back while the Lucio solo healing. Oh no, I'm sorry. The Zenyatta's there as well. So we got the D.Va Bomb coming out here. Trash Panda just holds up that big rectangle and is able to block it. However, it does take his shield down in a lot in terms of its health. Magic Cat trying to barrage, only gets Paper Sword. However, testing comes in and D.Va matrixes the entire rest of the ultimate. Throwing out that big bomb, Lord tries to get some people, is able to get testing out of Mech. However, we do have 2 members of Yes pushing this cart as Lord falls pretty late in that team fight. Valkyrie coming out on the side of the Megs. Noski healing the team here. We'll see if this does anything. They are able to touch point and stall that progress for the time being. Yes, I think actually is going to retreat at this moment. Laser Blitz in deep, but I think is able to get out. Noski is able to get the resurrection off onto Junosagi playing McCree here, so Magic Cat swap over to Doomfist, so perhaps they are trying to be a little more effective in their decisive defense here.
Yeah, making the swap there for the contest. Junosagi gonna ult and take out Widow only, no res for the side of Yes anymore.
Nope. So we do have Megs pushing in here with that single pick. They are going to actually take advantage of that pretty well here. 6 seconds on the clock, so pretty good play for them. We do have Paper Sword hopping onto the point, however, not a lot of the team there with her, unfortunately, and looks like the Megs hold them off just as overtime begins.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Yes, trying to stage a dive pretty far forward there allowed that McCree ult to come around and take one of them out, and the Megs did a really good job of just capitalizing off of that one pick to clean up the rest of that final fight.
Yeah. All right, well, we did see some interesting plays, some interesting compositions, some interesting swaps. So I have to say, I'm entertained. I hope the rest of you guys are having an interesting time.
And it looks like we're going to take another quick pause. We had a player drop out of the game. We're assuming connection issues of some sort. Yeah, we've got a, I believe it's a tactical DC.
We have a tactical DC, boys. Tactical DC. You gotta play the mind game, the enemy team. See, make him think that you're too cool to play this game anymore.
make him think you're playing on a potato.
Yeah, make him think that you're playing on a Vizio. I don't know. That's not a game computer, right?
I don't know if that is a computer. I'll take your word for it, though. But it does look like Noski is going to return to the game here. We're going to go ahead and get going with Yes's defensive round.
Perfect. So, we will be looking here at the team compositions.
Here in just a moment. We got about 20 seconds for them to
fair.
fool us.
You did say Yes is defending, correct?
Yes, we'll be defending here.
Cool.
But yeah, I did enjoy that first push. We saw some very different comps there. We saw those non-meta comps that was telling us that they like to run.
Right. That's exactly what I was excited to see. As much as I can understand the effectiveness of the Goats composition, it is also interesting to see teams, any of the other, dozens of heroes.
I would like to play. Yeah, that's all I'm asking.
All I'm asking is the 5 DPS Zenyatta meta. Like, oh no, you know what kills is the 5 support Doomfist meta.
I've seen that be very effective in my ranked games. Usually against me.
In my bronze.
Yeah, exactly. But we are going to get double hit scan for Yes with dive tanks, Mercy, and Ana there. The attacker's going to keep running Magic Hat on the Pharah, Noski on the Mercy, and they are going to keep Trash Panda on the Rhine. So,
looks like they spotted Yes's tanks up top on the high ground there. So, trying to see what they can do, make some space, put a lot of pressure here on the card itself, trying to get that shield game won as well. So looks like Paper Sword does have to retreat for now. She's been antied as well as that shield and jumper down. However, Lord gets demeched right away, and Ochre is able to get the res off of the laser blitz. So we'll see if that swings this fight around. Ooh, good sleep onto Ochre. Eventually Ochre's taken down, and the Megs cleaning up here. Just, with a fairly decisive team fight right out of the gate once they got their footing, from the street level.
Yeah, not too much trouble. Now it's really just a little bit of cleanup for them as Widow only tries to get away on the soldier.
Widow!
Make it and
trying to run away.
Because of that late stagger, they may push all the way through first point off of that fight.
They kept 3 on the cart, and I think Megs know this. So they're just going to stay there, not going to really push forward too much while Yes sets up.
Now, the real question here is, are they going to be able to continue pushing through second with so much damage coming down from that high ground? All they have is Magic Hat to try to contest up there.
Yeah, it's a good point there. The contest abilities of the rest of their team is a little short-lived. D.Va can hop up there occasionally with her flight. However, she's a large target. If she gets damaged down and bursted, it's a headshot away to get Baby D.Va out of the game for that team fight. So they do really have to measure out exactly what they're doing. I think Paper Sword unfortunately gets caught out. However, that jump saves her. She gets out of the way in time, back to the safety of her team. Widow only popping that soldier ult. The main tank's on side of Megs trying to block that, and it looks like he does get Magic Hat out of the sky as well as Lords, and it looks like Yes is cleaning up here and taking the rest of this team fight. So we're gonna get a reset from the Megs.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good tactical visor from Widow only. He got the nano boost a little bit late, but I like seeing him jump down from that high ground to get the angle onto Magic Hat. Was able to take out that Pharah without too much trouble. And but now 6 ultimates pretty much online for the Megs. Only the D.Va Bomb and possibly a High Noon coming in from Yes, so that's going to be a tough one to hold.
Right, yeah, and Paper Sword does get booped off of that high ground, forced to use the shield early in this team fight, so they are retreating. It looks like the Megs, and a gigantic Graviton Surge and Barrage coming out. Look at that combination, and let's not forget that really nice anti-grenade coming from Sid. That's exactly what you have to do. When you see your Zarya get a 4 or 5-man Graviton, you throw that grenade in there. You hope it doesn't get eaten. If it doesn't, it is all good news for you and your team.
Yeah, that was really well executed.
Very clean. Wow.
I was a little worried about them following up on the high ground, but they had no trouble thanks to the barrage.
Yeah,
and not to mention, Noski put a little damage in there himself.
Oh, yeah.
got D-Mech onto testing. So
that pistol, Mercy's pistol is scary.
It'll get you. But we are going to see them start to push in to third point here. They've got 4.5 minutes to just get it basically all the way completed.
Yeah, and it looks like they're making their way pretty easily around this first bend. And Laser Blitz and Widow only both popping ultimates, putting a lot of pressure. The anti-grenade onto the Megs. Here we go. There's a clean. Oh, wow. Here we go. And again, we got to give our hats off to Steiner on Ana, throwing in that big, fat anti-grenade. I mean, again, a clean combo
That
on
was
the other
an
team's side now.
outrageous. They had 2 angles on that.
Yeah,
just
I love
laying
that.
down the DPS
It
ultimate.
forced Paper Sword to look one way or the other because they pincered them.
Yeah.
And just really laid down that damage.
And it was super important because at the moment, Trash Panda was pretty much losing the kind of Rhine positioning battle to Paper Sword, and they completely flipped that on
That
its
was
head.
fantastic
But now,
timing.
approaching from the high ground is Megs.
That's true. We'll see how they work here. We do have the Valkyrie coming out from Noski, keeping her team up, maybe powering them up. We'll see how they approach here. They all are on this high ground, and we have Testing throwing out the Diva Bomb, taking down Magic Cat, and a big grenade, a big charge. However, Paper Sword falls on impact, unfortunately. So we do have a trade, 5v5, and the Earth Shatter I don't believe is able to connect very well. And Trash Panda does fall in the middle of the fight. We've got the Nano out onto Genosaji. Genosaji really close to that Graviton Surge. Megs holding on to 3 ults right now. However, Testing doing his best to get this cart contested. And then we have a Graviton. There we go. Genosaji coming out. Magic Cat really kind of late on that Graviton, or I'm sorry, Barrage. However, I think it was good for them to get that finalized. And I don't think Yes is going to make it to point. Oh! We have a Widow only slept. Oh no, that's a good burst of damage. We got the Tracer coming out, Testing. Diva Bomb coming out on point from Lord. Oh, takes down Testing. Unfortunately, nobody else from Yes could touch.
Yeah, and I mean, that was just a really great push from the Megs. They had the ultimate advantage for the majority of that fight. We saw a lot of good stuff. Widow only. Here comes the Soldier ultimate. Didn't know where they were at first, but he found them.
Really just looking in all directions. Wow.
Yeah, getting tons of damage down.
Ooh.
Got the Mercy. And so one of the things that I thought Yes was doing really well during their defense was denying the resurrection from the Mercy. I don't think we had more than 1 or 2 that whole push.
That was really
But
scarce.
The Megs just doing a really good job of being able to continue pushing that card, because while you do have control of the high ground, having those dive tanks makes it a lot more difficult to put bodies on the cart without them just getting completely annihilated.
Exactly.
So that's just kind of a little bit of a finesse, a little bit of a balance thing that maybe Yes needs to work on a little bit.
Right, yeah. I would look the Megs and see that, they would be applying pressure as well as making sure they had, like 1 to 3 people on cart. I did notice a few times when Yes was winning team fights, or when they were really, getting ahead, the cart would just be kind of sitting there. So yeah, you're right. It is good to have that balance because, it is part of the objective. As much as it's fun to get, a 5-man visor or, a 6-man Diva Bomb, you do want to make sure you're also completing the objective of the type. So good to have that balance. That's a great word.
Yeah, absolutely. So it does look like our next map will be Hanamura.
Nice.
We will have the teams swapping sides again.
Yeah, definitely.
So
and I believe our teams overall for the map, they're 1-1, yes?
Yes, that is a 1 for Yes, 1 for the Megs. So
Nice.
tight game so far here.
Tight game, yo. Pretty excited. That's the kind of stuff I like to see.
Yeah, absolutely. So
We'll move on here to Hanamura.
That's absolutely right. So what kind of things are you hoping to see here on Hanamura?
I want to see Mei. Give me Mei.
Not allowed to have her.
I mean, Mei's great on defense, first point, Hanamura. You can't argue with me. She's so strong. Not only can she wall off, her wall is the perfect length for that immediate first chokehold on the ground level. But she can also get up to that high ground, where you see like the Widowmakers, the Hanzos, the Genjis coming in. She's great, DPS denial, because if a Genji doesn't see the Mei right away and can't kill her or get away immediately, he's frozen, headshot, dead. I mean, I think she's strong. Not only that, but she can play the distance game if she wants from the high ground, duck into that building there with a mega health pack, or she can even stand on point if she wanted and, just lob icicles from there. As well, with the tightness of the point itself on that first point, her ultimate, I think, is extremely strong. If the enemy team's trying to push in from any of the sides, you can toss your ult like right in the corner and it catches both of those main paths that the enemy team is going to be trying to attack from. So I don't see enough of Mei. I think she's a fantastic hero. I think it's interesting how people can use her to deny space and to control the battlefield. So hopefully we will see some Mei. But I understand some other heroes, some players may be more comfortable. I also hope we see some Junkrat, but I always want to see Junkrat. So
you are absolutely right there, Avi.
Yeah.
But it does look like we are gonna take a quick, like, 3 or 4 minute break.
Oh, cool.
So
You could just listen to me rant about Mei.
would you like to?
No,
Because I'll
we'll
let
take a
you.
break.
Break. We'll be right back with some action on
Yeah.
Hanamura.
Sounds good.
Hey, we are back once again, SudsNBubbles with Avi.
Guess who's got 4 thumbs and is ready to keep casting? That's right, it's Avi and Suds.
Oh, I thought you had more thumbs than I knew about.
That's how you
Okay.
All right, so we
You
are
got
back
my
here
attention.
on Hanamura, everybody. Our third map of the night. Super excited. I love Hanamura. I think it's a fun map. I think it's very beautiful. But we were just talking a little bit about our predictions for the hero pool we're going to see here. So what do you think you were going to see, or what would you like to see in this map, Suds?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. The Mei, as you said, is a very good pick here. But I am quite partial to just kind of running some Reinhardt. I like
Okay,
the Reinhardt
yeah.
on the defense.
Yeah.
On the attack, I think a dive can be very effective if you have the right supports. I have recently seen some games where the team had a little bit of trouble getting their supports through the choke while they were staging the dive on the other side.
Right, yeah.
Really just can't hang them out to dry like that. So you gotta build the team around
Exactly. Right, yeah. Remember, kids, if you don't get heals,
that. That is a fact, especially if you are Genji.
oh boy, yeah.
Or you're brought back as some sort of cyborg abomination. But,
Hey,
whatever
no,
works
either
for
way,
you.
Whatever floats your goats.
Uh,
Alright, so we have Yes defending here, and speak of the devil, it looks like they do have goats composition here. Gino Saji making a quick entrance here on the Sombra. You love to see Sombra here. And perhaps maybe was doing some recon there because Gino Saji immediately swapped to Zarya back in the spawn room. Riley on that Junkrat. Riley, don't disappoint me, homie. Let's see some good junk
yeah,
boy.
it looks like...
And I think that they've confused Yes a little bit since they haven't made their way, obviously, to the...
Yes is getting antsy, but
They
the
are
Megs
getting
are trying
antsy,
to...
yeah.
They know what Yes is running, so they're tailoring their comp. And I like the double spam against a Goats composition like this. However,
Yes.
you've got a lot of healing. You don't have the Brigitte, so you're going to have both the Ana, the Zen, and the Lucio. But here we go. Trash Panda is going to start to make his way through the chart.
Pushing in here, so all the tanks really just making a lot of space right away. Pushing Yes into the corner of this courtyard here. However, Trash Panda falls right away, and it looks like that's going to put a lot of pressure on the Megs to sustain themselves. And Yes is responding with quite a bit of aggression, and it's paying off for them. Magic Cat falls as well in the middle of the fight, and the fight's still happening out in the street level. However, it looks like... yeah, the Megs are going to just start falling left and right if they don't get some pressure back on. Trash Panda back, however, got a nice big shield for the team, so they may regroup here, restabilize. They're going to start bringing it back to the front here.
Trash Panda being a little over-aggressive for his comp. He needs to just buy time for Magic Hat to find some damage and capitalize on it, but he wants to just get in there and make a lot of space.
Ooh, and Riley getting nanoed right away. We got a big slam coming out, however. Both the tanks fallen besides the Zarya here. Trash Panda just getting left and right. Stunned, CC'd. Noski also caught in this Graviton surge here, unfortunately. Gets demeched in the middle of the battle. Sid going in with that cheeky resurrection, however, on Trash Panda. Testing's Diva Bomb got thrown onto high ground somehow, and we do have some bodies from the Megs on the point. A lot of pressure going into that tiny room where the remaining members of Yes are. Widow only trying to come out and apply some extra pressure, however, is going to fall pretty late in this team fight. And there we go. The Megs finally make their claim on this first point, and they move on to second.
Yeah, and
Wow.
I mean, they were able to capitalize on those ultimates. They popped the nano boost onto Riley to build up some ultimate charge and damage there, and then they were able to just kind of survive the shatter that we saw come out from Paper Sword.
Yep, so we do have Yes set up their defense on this high ground here. The Megs looks like they're gonna try to run main. It seems. Yep. So we just have them running in main, seeing that the Yes composition is on the high ground. They just run to point. They're gonna make Yes come to them, which may be beneficial. So a lot of abilities coming out here on point. Yes getting smacked around. Trash Panda gets nanoed and gets a nice slam here. Is able to take down Laser Blitz with the assist of that Diva Bomb. Magic Cat also follows up a massive amount of damage here, taking out Ochre, Widow Only, and Paper Sword. 5 out of the 6 members of the Megs are on fire right now, and it looks like they are going to get this cap if Yes can't get bodies on point. So we have Widow Only trying to get on with Hammond, is able to make it at the last second. Ochre on Lucio. So Yes kind of getting back here on point. However, 2 ticks already for the Megs in the bank. So, oh, Paper Sword coming in hot with an Earth Shatter there. Making some space, trying to charge through the enemy team. It looks like the Yes may be restabilizing here if they can get some more kills. A lot of freezing going on. Like I said, A's effective. Like a lot of stalling tactics happening right now. Nano Boost goes on Noski. Diva just really putting in a lot of space and damage, bringing the Diva Bomb out, pushing the other members of the team up.
Oh,
and because of the Diva Bomb, the point! They all got off the point because they were afraid of the Diva Bomb!
That was actually the definition of a...
9,000 Q! A bit... We have a Charlie Niner. We have a Christopher Nineson. got any combination of the third letter of the alphabet
And
the number that comes before 10 and 8. I can't do this.
My God.
Chat, give me your favorite. All right, chat, give me your favorite version of C9 in the chat as soon as you see that C9. I mean, that was great, right?
That was
that was
unbelievable.
really. I mean, because it's a ballsy play, because you either lose your Diva Bomb and get mech right away, or you get exactly what just happened and everybody is scared and gets off point. Because they knew they needed that sliver. Just that sliver left.
You know that
man.
in week they're going to practice or very much learn whose job it is to die to that Diva Bomb.
To Diva Bomb, and whose job it is to follow up and get right back on point.
Yeah.
Oh,
because
man.
You never see that.
Oh, yeah,
My
that is,
God.
as the professionals say, you hate to see that. You hate to see it. You do, man. That is... apologies if you guys think we're...
Such a good stall up until that point coming out from...
exactly.
Yes, like
I was saying,
they were bringing that fight back without a doubt. They had it basically in the bag at that point.
Oh man, and I'm watching from a different POV on the stream right now, and Lucio tries to peek it and just dies to it, unfortunately.
Oh.
Wow.
Well,
Wow. This is
effort.
good stuff. I told you guys we were
now
gonna have
we
an
are
interesting
going to have dive defense here, but with dive attack with the McCree and the Hanzo. On the defense, we do have sort of a Mei and Ana Ghost.
Yes,
so.
Interesting. So yeah, we do have. Oh, and I see Steeder get domed in the main entryway here. And there we go. The Mei wall really just blocking off a lot of the Yes team while they're trying to push in. And unfortunately, with the overwhelming amount of pressure and map control that they're using, the Megs just kind of push Yes back.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I was saying, Mei's pretty effective on this first point.
Those Mei walls, if you can split the team with them and then get somebody frozen, like they're gonna die.
Oh yeah,
even
like
without
I said,
the freeze, they're gonna die
right.
if you've got your tanks up there putting down this damage, and that's what this kind of Mei Goats comp is so good at.
That's a great point. So Paper Sore looks like trying to make the dive in, and does have to escape here. Riley just really itching for that Mei wall. Trash Panda giving a little bit of support here, trying to get some blocking going on. Yes, looking like they're just trying to find the best approach point. And again, Riley domes Steiner, blocks up the other part of Yes, and just like that, Paper Sore and Testing fall while the rest of their team are on the other side of the Mei wall. Laser Blitz and the other DPS try to come in to maybe support once the wall's down, but it's too late. Their tanks are already dead, so they have to regroup again.
Yeah, here's the thing. When you're playing against a Mei with these dive tanks like this, you have to push in without using your cooldowns, because you know she's going to wall you off.
Yeah.
You need to be able to use those cooldowns to escape back to your team and push in once that wall has gone down.
Yeah, any Mei worth her salt on this exact map comp will split the team as best as she can on that choke point, because like you're saying, splitting the team is extremely effective. So we have the dragon coming out, catching Riley and Magic Cat off guard, so they do fall, and finally Yes sees this as an opportunity to dive in, and here we go. We've got the teams coming out. Sid is able to get a really nice beat drop off onto his team. However, Diva Bomb coming out, taking down Gino Saji. So Testing not going down without a fight here. And it looks like Yes is finally getting the pressure that they've been trying to apply. And they've got the point here. Megs, I don't know that they're going to try to come back and contest. They could with a fast hero, but...
And we have seen both teams have a little bit of trouble getting through that choke, but once they are getting ultimates, they're making really good use of them to find a way to push through there. And now we are going to see, Yes, push into this second point with 4 ultimates online, 2 supports, the Primal Rage, as well as the Deadeye. So they are going to want to take this high ground positioning and try to get Laser Blitz in a position to make good use of that Deadeye.
Yeah, good point here. So Megs are set up on that high ground, really just trying to get a good eye on where Yes is at their positioning. We've got, it looks like Paper Sword touch point for a bit, and as well as Testing, trying to get the Megs to drop down here, and they do finally drop, change the positioning up, and we got the High Noon coming out from Laser Blitz. Doesn't really get anybody. I think the wall ends up blocking a chunk of it. But we do have, yes, try to push on point now with the Dragon coming out. We've got Transcendence, Maze ult coming out. Widow only with his Dragon does take down 3 members of the Megs. So we've got them applying quite a bit of pressure here. Trash Panda unfortunately caught with the Nano on the bottom level. He gets stunned, unfortunately, and Sid dies before he can make it to point, and I think that Yes has capped as well. Fantastic. Let's talk about that. How do they make that so clean?
So Widow only basically just decided to pop off there and kill the entire enemy team in one fell swoop. But the true hero here, the person that got them the greater time bank, was the I believe it was Steiner there on the Zenyatta. Got the kill onto the Mei before she was able to touch point. If she touches point and ice blocks, that gives enough time for D.Va to come back, and now you have a stall fight that you have to win, and that's going to take you a good 20, 30 seconds minimum. Right. So that's the hero play that really puts them in a better position.
Yeah. I wanted to say, I've been seeing that for the most part on these teams, they've made very clear that they understand target prioritization and focus fire. It seems that they are coordinated enough to say, they have a Mei, she's gonna try to ice block on point. Like, they know, they're smart, they know what they would do. They say, get the Mei before she can ice block, and this is easy. You know, they can take care of the rest as it comes to them, but characters like that who can basically be invulnerable and still contest on the point, it's just one of those things. Like, they know what they're doing, so it's great to see those kinds of, intelligently planned plays. So we got the team swapped right now, Yes?
Yep, Yes is going to be on the defense, so they are going to continue to run this Ana, Zen, Lucio Goats, which not super effective for them last time. I kind of need to sit down and think through what they're trying to do with this composition, because it's not immediately obvious to me.
I think they're trying to be a jack of all trades, maybe. Just have like a little bit of everything that the supports can possibly provide.
Yeah, but we are going to see the same composition come in from attack as well. Magic Cat here on this Pharah. We'll see if Trash Panda is able to buy the time that they need to let Magic Cat be effective on the Pharah.
Yeah, so Megs push in now into the courtyard now that they see that they have a little bit of room that they can make, and room they make indeed. So they push Yes actually onto the point. Ochre falls early in this team fight, so that's pretty good for the Megs. And Steiner falls as well. So 2 of the supports on the side of Yes go down early. Paper Sword getting nanoed, really putting in that damage and that tank ability here. Taking Trash Panda out and getting back on the point, however, gets slept in the middle of it. Sid reses Trash Panda in the middle of that fight, and it looks like the Megs are going to take this, and they're going to actually send a few people forward to scout out what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely, and they do come out of that with a huge ultimate advantage. They're going to have probably 4 ults to enter this first fight, including that Graviton Surge and the Barrage, which has been really effective for them so far this season.
Trash Panda slept, however, a really nice shield from Riley to protect his main tank there while he slept in the middle. Oh, but the boop from testing gets Trash Panda thrown into the bottom part of this map. So, however, to get a cheeky charge. Oh, and a big slam! We got 3 people down from Paper Sword's Earthshatter. We got the D.Va Bomb coming out on point. Paper Sword's shield able to block it mostly. However, Paper Sword does fall to some other damage that's happening behind her. So we've got Riley on point, fairly high energy, trying to combat the rest of the team here with only, looks like, Noski to support. Noski does have to get out of there as the D.Va Bomb comes out from testing. Steiner is looking like he knows exactly who to throw those discords on.
So
that's crazy.
Really good opening to the fight there. We saw Widow only get the sleep on the Magic Cat. The Pharah got charged by Paper Sword, and that was right as the Graviton came out, so there was no barrage to combo with it. But Riley has already built up another Graviton Surge.
That's insane. I was just about to say that, yeah.
But lots of ults on both sides, so we'll see who's able to get the best value out of it.
That's a great point. So we do have the Graviton Surge coming out from Laser Blitz in the middle here. Paper Sword try to go for a good charge, unfortunately falls to the bottom level, so it's going to take some time to get back. Magic Cat getting nanoed in the middle of the barrage, however, falls to some pressure there. Not able to really make that damage work. Trash Panda coming in with a follow-up Earthshatter is able to charge Paper Paper Sword into the wall. So the nano boost onto Laser Blitz isn't extremely effective. We've got a Transcendence coming out from Steiner, and the shield from Laser Blitz blocks Noski's blast. However, Ochre is no shield in sight, is fallen to that Diva Bomb. Meg's putting a lot of pressure on point now. Paper Sword is able to charge Noski straight out of spawn here, however, does fall to the overwhelming damage from the other tanks here. Big anti-grenade coming out. Gino Saji really knowing when to land those grenades on the enemy team. Laser Blitz really being annoying and a nuisance on the Tracer there, however. Doing a lot in terms of stalling while the rest of the team comes back out. Trash Panda solo shattering Steiner! Charged instead, however, is nanoed immediately after that charge and starts to just wail on the enemy team. I mean, we've got a long fight coming, folks, so it looks like Widow Only is on Hammond right now, trying to get that stall potential out. Laser Blitz, again, on point, being more of a nuisance and keeping that that stall status on the point for his team. Just hopping around, bouncing around, really trying to... Oh! And again! Trash Panda solo shatters! Oh, man. So on point, Widow Only contesting, and we've got Paper Sword gone Winston, and the big bombs coming out from Hammond, maybe. Yes, Riley and Noski both fall to the major damage from the those Hammond bombs. And I think Yes has this.
What an unbelievable stall coming out from Yes.
Wow.
Let's
talk about the main points there real quick.
So long.
That is crazy.
So, I mean, the huge point is really good swaps. Widow Only looking good on the Wrecking Ball. And then Laser Blitz on that Tracer survived for so long, was able to prevent them from even getting a single tick over the course of that
Trash
fight.
Panda solo shatter him.
Yes. And Trash Panda had 2 shatters that fight. The first one, Paper Sword comes out of spawn and gets the charge onto him to prevent any follow-up damage from coming in, saves his teammates, eventually goes down himself, but we saw some great biotic nades on both sides, forcing tanks to go down because they couldn't get any kind of healing. Just really, really excellent play from both teams, and just what an unbelievable stall from Yes.
No, that was
crazy. Into overtime. Not a single tick on that point.
Right, and that's fantastic for them. If you can force the enemy team to push that into overtime and then you stall through that, I mean, you're golden. So, and I mean, I know I've been saying the word a lot tonight, but pressure. These teams know when they can apply pressure and how they can take advantage of that. So it's great to see these teams, you know, working to their strengths. And really using tactics that they know will work against the enemy. So
the other good thing that Yes was doing is and usually this is terrible, but it's good in a stall, is you trickle onto the point one at a time. And you stall for as long as possible so that hopefully when the next group comes in, it's 3 or 4 people instead of always one at a time.
Right.
So really good by them here on the defense for the Megs. They are going to run this kind of Mei on a Goats type composition. On the other side, we are going to see some swaps come in. Laser Blitz going to move over onto the McCree. Widow Only on the Hanzo. Paper Sword sticking to that Winston.
Yeah, good eye there. And again, like I was saying, Riley coming in there and denying testing from popping in on that high ground, actually even demeching testing. So testing is going to have to take some time to get that Diva mech back. You know, just that massive amount of control from the Mei is just really important there. And again, we've got a nice team separation here. Ochre gets charged into the Mei wall. Paper Sword falls on the high ground, and testing, I think, just decides it's faster to die to the enemy team. And I'm just saying, like, that's what I'm saying. That map control is so vital when you know what you're doing with it.
Yeah, once again, I mean, we saw Paper Sword come in, and she jumps up onto that high ground, but really, once you get walled off, you're probably best off just jumping back up to that window and returning to your team.
Right.
Wait for the wall to go down. Your jump is going to be up pretty quickly, and then you go engage as a 6 instead of getting yourself kind of split off there.
Right. Great point there. So it looks like, you know, they are trying to scout out what's the best mode of attack. Riley not going to let testing just get into the point for free and actually walls up to the high ground just to freeze him and scare him away, which is effective. We've got the Diva Bomb coming out right in front of Laser Blitz, and Noski and Laser Blitz take each other out. It is... Sorry, Ochre booping Sid off the map, so Lucio versus Lucio, looks like Ochre's winning. Magic Cat has the nano right now, so outputting a lot of damage and a lot of presence here on point.
Paper Sword!
Oh no! Oh, Paper Store, unfortunately, off the map here. So in the middle, I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness! So that was a long, drawn-out team fight, but there was a lot of good things. Yes, doing a really good job of engaging. When Riley uses that wall to go fight testing, the wall can no longer split your team. So that means you enter right then, and they did a great job of that. We're able to get in there, throw out a couple of ultimates, and capitalize on them. So now they're coming into second point with a sound barrier, both tank ultimates, and laser blitz on the tracer should build up that pulse bomb really quickly here. It looks like they are just going to go ahead and start contesting point.
Fantastic overview, Suds. So yeah, we do have Yes just hopping on a point, throwing at that Diva Bomb right away to really separate the team and kind of scatter them. And it looks like it's effective. They're going to look like they're focused on the Ryan here. Laser Blitz is able to help take him down. Both of the beat drops coming out on both teams, so a lot of sustain happening right now. Paper Sword gets slept, but immediately woken up. You hate to see that as Ana. Testing gets Noski out of mech, excuse me, actually, which is pretty good for them. And Testing actually does have to run away. It looks like Yes is deciding to regroup at this point since the Megs are applying so much damage and so much coordination right now.
If Yes move quickly, they're going to have 2 more fights. They really need to use the first one of those to build up a couple more ultimates and draw out a couple from the enemy team. The enemy team sitting on Shatter, Graviton, Diva Bomb, and the Nano Boost right now. They need to get at least one of those out.
Yep, no, that's a great point. With the time that they have, they need to make a decisive play because they only need 1 tick. That's the best thing, is they only need a single tick, and there we go. A great wall again from Riley. Trash Panda coming out with the Earth Shatter, and it looks like he is able to get somebody in his charge. I couldn't quite see who it was. But a lot happening on point again. Trash Panda had the Nano, however, he was caught off on the side with it. Gino Saji taking down Paper Sore in the middle of this fight. Steiner doming Riley. We've got Steiner also popping the Transcendence, keeping his team up. And looks like it's a bit of a scattered mess, but Yes is looking like they're fighting strong here in the middle of this. Laser Blitz able to take down Noski right away, and we've got this nice big Mei ult and stall with the wall and the cryo freeze. So she finally falls. However, Trash Panda is able to come back in the middle of it. Magic Cat as well as Noski. We've got the Diva Bomb coming out from Noski, and it takes down Ochre. Widow only coming out of spawn now. And I mean, here we go. Sid tries to hop on the point, and
but that's gonna be it.
Wow.
Yes, finally takes that one.
Man.
4-3.
Wow.
And I mean, again, good stall coming in from the Megs, but Yes doing a great job just to stay through a mercy play of the game.
Everybody, hold on.
Supports are important.
Cheeky.
Big res, lots of healing.
Lots of heal.
And just
some. Oh, and this fat damage. I remember that.
There's the damage boost.
Yeah, there we go. Fantastic.
Absolutely, but yeah, I mean, Yes, looking really good there on that second point fight. We're able to just consistently be getting those kills. So,
right.
I mean, you can't ask for much more.
No, you can't. That was fantastic. Even if you know, it's a 2CP. A lot of people have opinions on capture point maps. I think that it was played wonderfully on both sides. You know, we saw pretty, again, coordinated, standardized plays and some, you know, interesting things that you know, you wouldn't have thought of right away. So it was nice to see some of the combinations we were being shown, as well as like I said, you know, there was a really nice big Mei stall from Riley. Like you were saying, you know, if your defense on that second point, she is a master stall. So it was really cool to see that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And after that one, that leaves us with Yes 2-1.
Yeah.
So we will be going to King's Row next.
King's Row.
And Yes can win it right here. The Megs fighting for lives in this match. So we'll see. This is typically just a heavy Reinhardt map.
Yes.
So it's really going to come down to who's able to control the space, control the pace of these fights, and get in and out when they need to on these teams. It's all, when it comes to these Reinhardt heavy maps, it's all down to the main tanks and the shot caller.
Oh yeah. No, it's a great dynamic to recognize, right? You know, somebody really understanding how they can take up the space that they're providing as a big, large target, as well as, you know, they have the defensive tank abilities, and then either themselves or somebody else kind of cooperating to make good calls, make good kind of tactics coming out on the spot, on the fly. With this kind of map, there's a lot you can do, and one of the main reasons I love King's Row, its ability to support a lot of different composition types. Man, we casted for something back in season 1. What was it? It was like an Orisa Bastion Hog Turtle that was on high ground or something on the defense for first point. I mean, people will play anything, and I love it because it shows that you can be creative, and you don't have to play goats. You don't have to play goats.
But
yes, in the Megs, you don't have to play goats.
just go goats.
just go goats, forehead.
Yep. That's what everyone's been doing lately.
I mean, hey,
whatever works, man.
whatever works. Am I right?
Even if you do go goats on a map like this, you really have to pay very close attention to your enemy's cooldowns. Anytime an ability is used, you need to be making note of that and thinking very quickly, is that an opportunity for us to engage and get value? And if the answer is yes, you only have a split second to make that decision and go. So that's why the shot calling is so important in those kind of heavy tank matchups.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, Suds. You have to see those windows of opportunity and know which ones are worth jumping. Absolutely. You gotta have that game sense. That's a big part of games like this, is that game sense, knowing what's worth it, what is more possible to pull off than other things, and knowing if you have the skill and the further planning and game sense to keep it going. So yeah. I really want to see what these guys pull out on King's Row.
You're absolutely right. I wouldn't be surprised to see some more Magic-Hat on the Pharah.
Yeah.
Because Pharah on first point here, very effective.
Very strong.
We saw it 2017 World Cup. And don't get me wrong, I understand the meta has changed since 2017.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. It's been a year and a half.
Yeah.
But South Korea was very effective on that because they were able to force your enemy team around the hotel, the defenders around the hotel, and push them back with the pressure from that Pharah if they don't have a hit scan or something to deal with.
Right, yeah. No, I mean, it's interesting to see, even with meta shifts and character changes, there are still some main things that end up working still, depending on the map geometry and the hero's basic kits. Speaking of, I wanted to point out on Hanamura something that I saw from both teams, I think at least once on their attacks, which I thought was fun and an interesting use of the character, is both times they asked one of their team members to go Sombra, leave the translocator in the spawn, and then invis to do like a quick recon assessment of the defense, and then just go back and they rework the comp how they need to. And I think that's an effective use of Sombra. Yeah, you sacrifice like 20 seconds of setup and the beginning of the game, and maybe a little bit of ult charge perhaps, and then you go right in and you have like a more informed.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see that here as well, just because scouting is so valuable. Especially when you're attacking one of these first capture points, it's so difficult. You want to get every fight you can out of it at your maximum advantage. And if you see the defensive comp, you have the opportunity to just swap. They don't have that opportunity. You can swap onto your best counter for that comp and take even the first fight at the best advantage you can possibly have.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you have an fight, you already have a leg up on the opponent. So looks like we are getting started here on King's Row. Very, very pumped. I love this map, so we'll see what happens. So we've got some immediate shots going out from Laser Blitz, trying to get a quick pickoff on that Widow perhaps, but moves right on to Zarya with no luck on that insta-headshot, unfortunate. You hate to see that.
That's right. We are going to have Zen Goats versus Ana Goats here, but Oka goes down. Sorry.
Right away.
Not Ana Goats. Farah. We've got the Armor Seas snuck in here.
Yep.
So we are going to see Yes have to retreat here. They're going to go ahead and get their regroup going. Widow only now onto the McCree. Laser Blitz swapping onto the Widow. That's very confusing.
Yes, but I think that they are really tired of Magic-Hat popping off, so perhaps they're pulling out their hit scans to kind of take care of that, which is fair. That does put Farah in a very tight position.
Yeah, you can see she's having to play around the side of that hotel.
Yeah, really, they're denying all that space and damage to Magic Cat right now, which is fantastic for that tactic. So we've got the Yes is a little split up right now. However, it looks like they are making their way onto point finally. Ochre just kind of running around, you know, causing some issues, you know, pushing people around. And Laser Blitz coming in. There we go, taking out a few members already. Testing, taking advantage of that. So it looks like Yes is up in this team fight, and the Megs, unfortunately, with a few key picks on their side, fall to the pressure of Yes, and they have this first point on Kings Row.
And it all started with that kill onto Trash Panda. Again, he was just a little bit overextended, and we saw Yes capitalize on it. That's exactly what we were talking about, is seeing those minor mistakes, the cooldown usages, and being able to take advantage of it. But now, Only trying to take some space is going to get Fire Strike.
THICC thick. So, taking advantage of that pick, it looks like Trash Panda's holding up here in the front of that choke point. However, it looks like they are smartly retreating slightly to Laser Blitz's infra sites here. And we've got the High Noon from Widow only taking Magic Cat out of the game. So again, the hit scan really doing their job and making Farah kind of a non-issue in this fight right now. So Trash Panda again pushed up too far once his team's kind of down. We got the Graviton Surge and Nano Boost coming out from Riley and Gino Saji, but unfortunately I think it's a little late in the game once they had 3 of their members down. I think that may have been a bit of a... And Lord popping that Diva Bomb just to get the mech back. And another High Noon coming out from Widow and taking down Cat. Who is this man? Widow only, who are you?
And now we're going to see the Primal Rage pop. Paper Sword just making space. Trash Panda goes for the charge.
Trash Panda, and I mean, there's a lot happening, but I think it's... Oh man, wow. Okay, so Yes has made quite a bit of space for their team. They have somebody back on point. 3 people now. So 3 on cart. Good for them. Paper Sword, Anti up top. However, while they're distracting the rest of the Megs, they take advantage of that, and they get to that first checkpoint, forgive me. And Trash Panda coming out with an Earth Shatter. However, he dies in the middle of it. Diva Bomb coming out from testing, gets the mech back, doesn't really take anybody down with it. However, Yes, not having any trouble pushing this cart still and making their route really pushing back. Widow only again with that High Noon, stunning that Nano Zarya. Unfortunately, Riley keeps getting nanoed and then stunned immediately after, so you can't really do much when you stop moving for a chunk of time. So Trash Panda, again, caught out in the front, gets booped into the enemy lines. Look at that boop usage.
So
Ochre,
good.
that's my boy. That's my Lucio O's. Got those for breakfast in my belly. Lord gets thrown off the map as he demexed. So we've got the Transcendence and Dragon Blade coming out. So this may be a good tactic from Megs to stall and possibly make their way back into this fight. However, Laser Blitz takes Gino Saji right down since there's nothing really countering the sniper. Magic Cat finally taking care of Widow only, and Riley getting testing out of mech. So we do see the Megs giving it their all here, trying to push Yes back so they can make space. And the where did that Earth Shatter go?
He went in the pit.
Oh no! Oh, Paper Sword and Ochre really just having their boop game up today. And with the final bits here, we have Lord, the only one on point. However, gets booped off a point. Yes, Caps. There we go. Round 1. Wow.
Unbelievable. I thought there was no... I thought they were going to have to reset. I thought the fight was a loss. But Yes,
3 minutes in the bank to pull
it out.
3 minutes. That is... Wow.
And a lot of the progress there is made off of some really just minor mistakes by Trash Panda.
Yeah.
I mean, I like his aggression, but I don't know if these retreats aren't being communicated or if they just aren't, he's not getting the memo what's going on, but his team is backing off while he's still in there just swinging away like a happy German man.
I mean,
but
hey, as much as I love swinging around my big German hammer, you got to choose a time and a place for it. It's it is one of those things where if you're too aggressive and then nobody's there to support you, of course the enemy team is going to take care of you and then take advantage of that. You know, this is a competition. Nobody's going to say, well, okay, let the right get back. Like, you know, it's only fair.
And I mean, I'd like to see him do a little bit better job of just playing around corners, because a lot of these times he is getting caught out in places where he has no retreat. He can put his shield up, but he can't get around any kind of real geometry.
And even if your shield gets busted, you have to have somewhere to duck. Like you're saying, yeah, you need corners. You need to play around walls. You have to choose angles that are beneficial in the event that you're getting pressured. You can't just assume that the enemy team is not going to attack you. That's the big thing there.
And we've got double hit scan here on the defense. I imagine they're expecting the Pharah to come out. I would have expected it from Magic Hat, but it's Riley playing the Pharah this time.
We see Widow only playing Ashe, so interesting. Don't get to see Ashe too much in this tournament right now. So right away, we've got Megs rotating around the statue here. Big AoE damage, however, coming out from Widow only in the back line. Really, really sweet spot to toss that dynamite. And we have, finally compiling on point as Megs go in to try to make a move, and they do. Laser Blitz actually takes Magic Cat down in the middle of this, so we've got Lord taking down Laser Blitz finally. Magic Cat gets rezzed, so I think Megs are up by one person right now. However, Paper Sword coming in, doing a good job of pushing the other tanks off the point, just keeping presence on point, really not letting them take this for free, and that's fantastic of them. Testing comes back with Ochre and Steiner. Forgive me. And finally, the Valkyrie comes out, and Bob is out on point now. Transcendence and Diva Bomb coming out as well from Yes. So, Ochre using the Valkyrie, running over to resurrect Paper Sword, and it looks like it's beneficial because Riley is caught out on Reaper. Oh, Reaper swap, by the way, BTW. And it looks like Yes has restabilized here on this defense for sure.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. We did see Laser Blitz had to swap onto the Tracer to try to get back, and that was a huge res on the Paper Sword to keep this fight going. But right now, there's not really anybody that can contest the point except for testing on the Diva. Paper Sword has been doing it, but he's just so he's so fragile when the Reaper is involved, but he's going to go ahead and try to jump the backline.
Yep, and with that Primal Rage, it's going to make it a lot easier for him to just apply a lot of damage and a lot of, control over that team. So, causing a ruckus in the backline, making Riley use the Wraith to get out of there. And unfortunately, because of that bubble, the only person Trash Panda gets with the Earthshatter is the Diva. However, Lord following up on some damage, taking down Steiner in the fight here. Widow only falling, but Ochre is able to get the resurrection off on Steiner. So, Yes, still in this unless Riley starts to pop off, and it looks like Riley is taking down a few members bit by bit here. So Laser Blitz doing the best to stall and does get Lord out of mech before she dies. However, Testing coming back at the last minute, really wanting this stall, so we'll see if the Baby Diva lasts long, and unfortunately... Oh, and Bob! Gets point antied and is immediately dead, so I like where your mind was at, Widow Open. The sleep stun anti-grenade was real deadly, and he had Discord as well. So I get where you're coming from. Magic Cat coming in with some hot damage as well, but
you know,
wow.
I can appreciate the aggression, but
yes.
Honestly, Testing never should have gone in on that Diva.
No.
Laser Blitz should have been the last staller so that they could get a forward fight here on second point, because now they aren't going to make one until possibly this like third or fourth corner, which is
really rough.
Yeah, it's a
rough position.
It's a tough place. You are only going to get one fight on second point if you lose it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how they work with this. Let's see. I think Widow only switched over to McCree. Yeah.
That makes me less upset about the old usage.
Right. Yeah. Maybe that was a plan all along. We didn't think high enough. And I mean, right off the bat, Widow only making up for that odd Bob ult at the end, taking Cat out of the fight. So we've got the Nano coming on to, I believe, Magic Cat or possibly Riley.
It was Magic Cat.
There we go. And Genosaji able to take Paper Sword out of the fight, so we do have a bit of a trade here. Laser Blitz getting Riley caught off in the back line. So the teams are fighting here. Oh, and Testing gets caught in this Graviton. However, Steiner's got his back. He's got that Transcendence coming out. Trash Panda trying to make use of that Earth Shatter, unfortunately gets stunned out of it and is forced to play more defensively. But the pressure from Ochre, Steiner, and Widow only really swinging this fight back around. I mean, Suds, can you help me analyze that just a little bit, how nice that was?
Yeah, I mean, both of those teams kind of started with their characters all over the place on these crazy flanks. And then we did see the fight start to swing in the direction of Megs. Paper Sword went down, had to respawn and make his way all the way back. Once he did get back, they survived that Graviton Surge and were just able to, you know, keep putting that damage and keep chipping away. And eventually they take the fight here. But now, a huge ultimate fight coming up. 5 on the side of Yes.
All right, I'm going to
3
try to
here on the side
get
of
ready
Megs.
for announcing all these ults that come out, yeah. So we do have Megs trying to get a position here on the street level. They are kind of getting turned around here since they are getting pressure from multiple directions. We've got the Diva Bomb coming out, taking down Genosaji in the middle of the fight. However, Genosaji is able to take Widow out. Lord's Bomb as well is able to take Steiner out. So the Primal Rage... Oh boy, Paper Source Primal Rage is only able to kind of distract the team for a little bit, but Riley, Trash Panda, and Lord putting in a lot of, damage and a lot of presence here on the point, and they do finally cap here.
Yeah, unfortunately, we saw Laser Blitz throw out that Pulse Bomb early. It got cleansed off of Magicat by his personal bubble, so didn't get any value out of that, and that kind of put a damper on the start of that fight.
Right, that would have been an excellent catalyst to that defense,
and
right?
Magicat will have a Graviton Surge here shortly. Riley with the Death Blossom is going to be looking to combo with it. Testing has to be aware of that and be holding that defense matrix. Here comes a High
Oh,
Noon.
and Widow, the High Noon, is able to get anybody. Oh, and a surprise Death Blossom coming out from Riley. It is a nice trade though, however, since Widow took Trash Panda out and got Lord out of mech. Magicat taking Paper Sword down after he was able to jump Riley on the Reaper. Laser Blitz landing a nice bomb on the Baby Diva and getting Cat taken down. Being a nuisance in the backline, however, does get thrown out of there. Magicat's got the Nano, almost gets booped off of the map, but looks like due to the couple of picks on his team, he can't really make use of that Nano before it wears off. So Meg's trying to push forward here though, but I think Yes is able to regroup pretty well. Riley switching on over to Junkrat. We got the there we go, 4 people out. Trash Panda charging in and does get healed back up. Riley taking a few members out already with the help of his team. And it looks like Megs are now finally gaining that steam that they were missing before. And here we go, Ochre hopping on point, beating, getting himself and Paper Sword and his Laser Blitz some extra health, but that Graviton Surge coming out, grouping the team up is really just gonna lock that out.
Yeah, unfortunately, Laser Blitz stepped off the point there as we Paper Sword get taken down. So that's gonna be 3-3, but the time make advantage on the side of Yes with 3 minutes 16 seconds.
Pretty prevalent, right?
So I mean, they had a pretty good hold on first point. If they can match that here, all they should have to do is, you know, cap that first point.
Yeah. So wow. And again, I mean, I guess I'm not surprised, but it is great to see such like even gameplay back and forth.
Absolutely. It looks like no, they are going to go with a similar. Is Widow only going to stay on this May? I know what you want, Avi.
I mean, you know, Suds.
But we do have a similar choke here on first point of King's Row to what you see on Hanamura. It's not quite as definitive, but it is pretty effective for that May to be making use of. But Widow only will swap onto the Ashe.
Gotcha. Which I believe Widow only was doing fairly well on the Ashe.
Actually, I think they have swapped roles here. I think Laser Blitz was playing the Ashe last time around, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I think Widow was Ashe.
Oh, you're absolutely right, because Laser Blitz was Tracer.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Laser Blitz, yeah, it's putting in some good work. I see Laser Blitz knows how to be a nuisance. Yeah. All right.
But so, here on the attack, looks like the no, probably just Sonic Arrow. Nope, Magicat's coming. We've got the double spam.
We got Riley on Junkrat.
Hanzo.
Junkrat on King's Row. Here we go. Here we go. Let's get hype. So we got a lot of spam coming out. Looks like they're gonna do themselves. little bit of a recon here. They wanted to go through Hotel, but I think they're just pushing to point here. And Paper Sore's not going to let them do that for free. Hops up. Ooh, Riley, unfortunately. I'm sorry. Steiner, unfortunately, falls to Riley. However, Laser Blitz coming in and trying to make this this counterplay, and it does work as Oker's able to get Steiner rezzed, but Magic Cat and Gino Saji really laying down the sniper fire. Megs are just on point now.
Yeah, that was a very definitive fight from Megs. And really what that comes down to is that both teams are kind of...
Oh, no.
Oh, they want the stall, but I don't...
They do.
They're going to lose a lot of card space doing this.
I mean, I think maybe they wanted to push them into overtime. I'm not sure, but...
I mean, they accomplished
if that was their goal, that is true.
But now, if they're not careful, they may get a bad spawn for testing. It looks like they will. If he sticks to the Hammond, he will be back quickly. Goes ahead and swaps to the Diva.
Yeah.
But that's going to allow the Megs to take a lot of space if they want it. We do have Paper Sore over onto the Rhine. I like this swap. I think that's part of why they gave up that first point so easily, is they didn't have a shield tank to allow them to take position on point.
Right, and with
but a Bastion
Riley's on Bastion.
From Riley, they are
oh boy.
Defend the president.
They are here to just destroy. So, yep. Oh, and some nice AoE coming out from Widow only, and that gives Widow her Bob. However, Magic Cat taking her out before she can do anything with it.
Oh!
Test it!
That's
that Diva Boop and the McCree Deadeye! Oh my god!
My god.
How do you spell outplayed?
That was such an effective
Whoa!
they throw in that
man!
That fire grenade, the firebomb, forces them to kind of reposition because they're under so much pressure.
Oh man!
And then between the, as you said, the Deadeye, and then just a solid from testing, pushing everyone off. They'd been in overtime for so long, they only had to be off for a split second for that overtime timer to run. So well played but
these are the plays I am living for.
But
right
they
now.
still are going to have to cap first point, which is not a given here on Kings Row, and push at least there to the bookstore. So not the easiest thing here to do. But on the defense this time, we are going to see Trash Panda and Lord run the Reinhardt Zarya composition, which I like better because of the point presence you can have. Also, Magic Cat and Riley, McCree and Junkrat. So a lot of damage coming in from them. We'll see if Yes wants to stick with this double sniper. I think that might be a good choice here to just try to find that pick to engage on.
Right. So we'll see how that plays out here.
They don't see anything from that Sonic Arrow, so really good positioning from the Megs. They're going to have to come in here a little bit blind. Oker does swap back over onto the Lucio. So now we are going to see the Megs start to push up. Trash Panda playing that corner, but Laser Blitz does swap off of the Widow as well. So we are just going to get a standard Zenyatta Goats composition. They're going to go through Hotel.
And I'm wondering if they suspected Riley was going to stay on Junkrat. So Zarya, if you can get your shields very effective against Junkrat, gives you a hell of a lot of energy right away. And here we go, right away, Trash Panda again gets caught off without a lot of support, falls to the massive amount of damage being put onto point. And yes, taking down their main tank right away. Paper Silver does fall in the middle of this, however, but Widow only making some work on Lord, Steiner, getting Riley down, and I mean, a lot of this pressure going on to Megs, and it looks like Yes is going to cap here. I mean, they do need to get bodies on point, but it looks like they're going to get this right here.
Yeah, not too much trouble for them. That was really well done. They pushed through that hotel, which split the enemy team and allowed them to put Trash Panda in a dangerous position, and now they've taken a lot of space all the way up to the bookstore. Trash Panda having to play that back corner there.
And that Zarya is high energy right now. Ooh, their Brigitte does fall here, so I'm wondering if Megs are going to make a push here, especially with that Pharah, and they are applying a lot of pressure, actually forcing Yes back towards the beginning of this choke here. So we got the Junkrat tire coming out. I'm keeping a close eye on it. Let's see what happens. Flipping around this back area here, and does finish off Laser Blitz. So Megs have made their hold here. They've stopped the momentum that Yes had. However, looks like they are regrouping, and they're holding on to 4, almost 5 ult, while Megs only has their Graviton Surge. So, ooh, sleep onto testing and an anti-grenade. We'll keep testing out of the fight for a minute. Got the rally coming up from Widow, so that Brigitte ult is going to really give the team some sustain here. Trash Panda, again, too aggressive, pushing out, and that hammer coming out. Paper Sore getting the big fat shatters. Man, and the Transcendence coming out.
Oh, they forgot the payload!
No! Get on point! Steiner was really trying to keep the team up with that Transcendence, and that was a smart move.
Even so, I'm not sure there's enough time, but Magic Cat is here. Very low on health.
Magic Cat, oh, and gets booped and then immediately killed. But you know, I like the attitude. You want to try to touch point, but
that is a win.
That is a
Yes.
win.
They're gonna take this series 3-1. That put both of these teams 1-1 for their first week here in season 2 of Owlet.
Oh, that's some good stuff. Oh, no, that was saturated.
Boop!
Oh, I said their boop game was strong. I meant
Their
it.
boop game was so strong.
Oh, man.
Man, these teams put on such a great
They
show
did.
for us.
They really did. Thank
Both
you, guys.
had really great strengths. I loved watching them. I guess who would be your MVP here tonight, Avi?
My MVP?
Yeah, your MVP.
Oh, man.
There's so many to choose from.
I know. I gotta say Riley on May. Those Hanamura plays, and I mean, so many spicy walls, some really nice dinks. I saw a few times Riley just doming Steiner on the Zenyatta and really just immediately denying some heals and extra damage for the enemy team. So, you know, like I was saying, target prioritization is something that both of these teams seem to have a good grasp on. Other than that, I loved Paper Sore's tank play.
Yeah.
I think Paper Sore had very strong understanding of all the tanks that came out in their pool. So good hats off. Main tanks don't always get the love that they need. So thank you, Paper Sore, for showing up and really showing off. What about you, Suds? Who are your MVPs?
Yeah, for me, I think I'm leaning towards Yes's Diva of oh my god, I just went completely blank.
Same.
That's,
I know.
that's
I
good. It's right there though.
Oh, it is.
It's gonna be Yes's Diva.
Yes. we don't always have the rosters.
Roster up right here. It is testing. My God, how didn't I remember that? So many good boops from testing to prevent people from touching point.
I mean, we could talk about
Not to mention just great diva bombs over the top. Some good combos with both shatters and those graviton surges. On the other side, I think the support's doing a really great job, and actually this being passed around a little bit on the side of the Megs. Everybody got to play it a bit, and all of them actually looking really good on it, landing some fat bionades from both sides actually. So I mean, just such good games, good match today. I couldn't have asked for much more.
It was a fantastic time. So, you know, if the players are watching this, thank all of you for your hard work, and thank you for giving us something to talk about and some exciting things to explain to the people.
That's right. So I think before we get out of here, I just want to, as we said, this is season 2 of Owlet.
Yes, it is.
Week 1. There will be more games tomorrow, so keep your eyes on this channel. And before we go, I would just like to say a big thanks to our producer Direboyd today, as well as our lobby manager Lulu, doing a really great job just keeping everybody in line, making sure these matches go the way we want them to. Very smooth.
Yes, bless both of those homies. It made our jobs a lot easier, and it made the whole thing look a hell of a lot better. So thank you.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. But I think that's going to be it from us. Once again, I'm Suds. This is Avi.
And I am Avi, and this guy right here is Suds.
That's right. So thanks a lot for watching, and keep your eye out. There's more to come.
Yeah, get hype.